To add the genres into the database, we can go to our song context. Here we created the songs entities, and now we can also add a model builder for the entities of genre. So I'm going to go to our model builder and create the entities of type genre. And we want to populate some data, so once again we'll use the has data. So just like we created the song, we are going to create new genres. So I'll create a new genre, and I will add the two properties, so genre ID, and we have this as a string, so I'll call this one M, and let's say this one is gonna be for metal, so that's gonna be the name of the genre. Then we'll create another genre and pass in the ID, and let's say this one is gonna be R, and this one's gonna be for the name equals rap. Let's create some more, so let's create another with the ID of H, and the name is gonna be hip hop. And let's add one more, so it's gonna be genre for the ID, let's say RC, because it doesn't have to be one letter, it's a string, and this one's gonna be for the name equals rock. And I forget the equal sign here, so these are our genres that we created, and you can add as many as you want. So now we want to add some records to the songs that we already have in our database. We have created these 3 songs, so now we can add the genre to them as well. So the master of puppets, I'll add the genre. You can see here is my genre, but I'm adding the ID, not the whole genre. That's why we have the genre ID separate. And this is a metal song, so this is gonna be M. For Wonderwall, this is by Oasis, so the genre ID is going to be for the rock, so it's gonna be RC. And Lose Yourself, this is by Eminem, so this is gonna be genre ID to be equal to R for rap. So now we can actually create another migration that will add the genre table and populate it with the data, as well as update our data for the songs that we already have and include the genre ID to them. So I'll go to Tools and go to NuGet Package Manager console. This is an entry from our last migration, and let's create another. So I'm gonna do the command add migration, and this one is adding genre. That's gonna be the name of the migration, and just enter. And the migration was created. Let's have a look at it. You can see that it adds another column for our songs. It adds the ID for the genre, and it creates a table genre with the ID and name in it. And here is the data that we are inserting. You can see this is for our genres. You can see this migration adds data for our genres, and it updates the songs. You can see it uses the update data, so it's gonna add a column genre ID and a value. So this is our migration, and notice that now we also have a foreign key, and the foreign key is the genre ID. So now let's add this to our database. So the command is update-database and press enter, and it's done. It was successful. So let's go to SQL Server Object Explorer. I'm gonna refresh it, go to my database for the songs and the tables, and you can see now we have genre table as well. So let's right click and view data, and here's the data for the genre with the ID, which is a string, and the actual name. Now let's open the songs. Let's view the data there. And you can see it updated it by adding the genre ID column, and it populated it with the ID that we set in our own model creating. Of course, if I run it now, you wouldn't see any changes in the views because they are not set up for the genres. In fact, the actions are not set up for the genres either. So we are going to add genre to our controllers first. Let's do that next.